Hey, Pickle.
What?
What are you doing?
We're going to get coffee. What are you doing?
I'm coming along for a coffee companion date with you.
You really scared the shit out of me when you yelled out, hey. I was
Hey,
like,
Pickle!
who is this?
It's your husband who's walking 5 feet behind you. Today's philosophical question on the vlog is turning your passion or your hobby into a career a good idea?
Maybe. More on that in a minute, but first, coffee, lunch.
Chicken sandwiches.
Let's go.
Also, we have one battery to make this vlog happen because classic Pekka move
I had them plugged in. My thing was up, so.
didn't charge the batteries. Yeah, pickles.
Hey, Becca Peckham.
What?
Have you ever played Uno? Color change to blue. Uno. Done.
The winner!
Shit. God damn it, you're so good at this.
The winner! What now? What now? Oh, no!
Roasted.
All right, you win this round, Peckham. First draw, ready?
No, I'm not. Don't. I have such a good hand.
Uno. Done. I'm the winner. 7, green 7, green, green 5, red 5, blue 7, Uno. Done.
This is done. I'm over. I don't want to play this game anymore. Once again, another thing that Chris is better at than me.
How's your lunch?
It was good. How's yours?
It's pretty good. You know what's better though?
Playing Uno?
Schooling you in Uno multiple times.
Who knew that you were so good at that game?
Yeah, it's because I suck at organized sports. I'm glad that you're impressed at my Uno skills.
Yeah,
I sort
you're very good.
dominated you.
Does making your passion into a career ruin it? The short answer is yeah, kind of. It does. Well, I don't know if actually if it ruins it, but it sure does change it.
People always say, you know, find what you're passionate about, which is a lot of times people's hobbies. And they say make it your career, and I don't agree with that. A lot of it is because pursuing your hobbies as a career, it will change your hobbies, and that can be problematic for some people. And I'll use you as an example.
I decided that I wanted to be a photographer and designer. I went to school for graphic design, as you guys probably know. Chris actually taught me how to shoot photos, and it's kind of, and my uncle, I credit him as well. Basically what happened was I went from being so passionate and in love with photography and just wanting to shoot all the time to shooting for a job and then never picking up my camera unless I was going to shoot a job. And when I did pick up my camera, it felt like work, and I hated that.
So we're talking about making your hobby or your passion your career, and if that's a good idea. If you like your work, it won't feel like work. I think the problem is that instead of enjoying their work, they end up hating their passion.
I used to walk around all the time with my camera. I'd go out and shoot for fun. When I started doing it for work, I stopped shooting for myself, and it kind of stripped the fun out of it. You do it all day for somebody else, and then the camera goes away.
So you would say to somebody, if they're contemplating making it their profession, you would say, really think hard about it, because it will change how you view that.
Definitely.
And if that hobby of yours is a creative outlet and a stress reliever, it may become your biggest source of stress and ruin it for you.
It does become stressful, like any other job, especially when you're working for clients and things like that. With the stresses and things like that, your job is still super enjoyable because that was originally your passion. So you're still doing something that you love. It's just gonna change your view on it. So I still love photography. I love like going to work and I get to shoot photos for my living. Like, that's awesome. I couldn't ask for a better job. But on the flip, just realize that all of the things that you shoot maybe for Instagram or for fun or when you go on a trip, you're not going to want to touch your camera. So you just need to be okay with that. Oh, but then maybe you won't. Maybe you won't. Maybe you'll be the opposite of me. Maybe you'll want to shoot everything all the time.
There's a solid like 5 to 6 years where you just didn't touch your camera unless it was for work.
Yep, 100%. I'd go to a family event, and my uncle is a photographer. You've seen him on the blog before. I'll link a video with him in it up here. Bells. But he'd bring his camera all the time, and he'd be shooting photos, and I used to do that as well, and then I stopped doing it, and he'd ask me, you know, yo, did you bring your camera? And I'm like, no, I just can't bear to look at my camera right now. I've been shooting all week. I just want a break from it. And so yeah, there was a solid 5 to 6 years.
I've sort of always wanted to go into medicine. That was sort of always my career path that I was...
Yeah, you're the perfect opposite of me.
Yeah, we're opposites attract. And I've always been into video too, and that's always been a hobby. I started with my BMX videos in the late 90s and all through the early 2000s. And people always said, like my parents told me, they're like, Chris, you can go to film school if you want, if this is something you want to do. But I never really thought about that, only because in order to make money to fund my camera addiction, I used to do videos for people, corporate videos, wedding videos, things like that. And I absolutely hated it. It was a means to an end though, and I would use the money from that to buy camera gear, and that was the only reason I did those jobs. But I didn't enjoy doing other people's video work, so I never considered it a career option for me, only because I didn't like doing other people's work. Someone recently asked in one of our videos, do you think you'd be a helicopter pilot if you weren't a physician? I think it'd be kind of fun, but I probably wouldn't enjoy running the same tour circuits. I wouldn't enjoy doing other people's flying. I like flying for myself. I like to have the independence of flying where I want to go, not where someone else wants to go. I might enjoy teaching flying though. That'd be kind of cool. Maybe, I don't know. I've dedicated 14 years to be where I am now. I've never considered a career change. I enjoy what I do for work. And it's that work aspect of my life. My hobbies are separate, and I like to kind of keep it that way.
So something I found when I kind of burnt out and I kind of lost my passion for it was kind of made my own like personal project. It gave me an excuse to go and play and get inspired again. So I started this portrait project where I was collecting portraits and pictures of my friends and family and just trying to work on bringing the personality out of that person or representing that person in a shot. I'm still working on it, it's not done, but I've been kind of working on it over the last 5 years, and it's allowed me to see like the differences in kind of my style of shooting and style of editing, and it's kind of this progression. So when I started that kind of brought the love and the passion back, and then when we started vlogging and going on adventures, it's like a different style of shooting completely. Key or tip to anybody who is kind of in my situation, maybe they feel like they've lost their love for photography, just try making a project. Maybe it's like going out and shooting trees, or it's shooting your friends' outfits. I mean, I used to shoot Chris's outfits all the time. It was fun to do, and I think I learned a lot doing that. So just kind of switch it up, try something different, make a project for yourself and work on it, and that might bring the love back because it worked for me.
Yeah, side note, little do people know, I started on Instagram shooting men's fashion stuff, and then I kind of wasn't really able to continue that because of my 1 year fellowship in interventional radiology.
Where you wear scrubs every single day?
I wore the same thing. I became a cartoon. I wore scrubs every single day. I'm not able to kind of get dressed anymore in a real fashion, in a real way. My IG's kind of dead from that standpoint, but it's kind of shifted into like more so adventure and just lifestyle, whatever you're into.
Yeah. So I've been really inspired lately by my friend Ryan, Seek Axiom on Instagram. You should check them out. They've been doing these photo sets on Instagram stories, and they've been super dope, and I never really thought about doing those until the other day when I was actually out shooting with my friend Ryan. And so I kind of just made a point of shooting for a laugh and trying to tell a story over that set. No pressure, they look like shit, doesn't matter. And I had so much fun. Maybe even doing something like that as a project, or just to get out and shoot for fun and with no pressure. It kind of brings the love for it back too. So that was a couple of days ago. This morning Chris and I, we went for a date, as you guys saw at the beginning of this video. And so I was just like, I'm gonna bring my camera and just shoot some photos and just see what happens. Just think about different ways you can use your photography. They don't have to be bangers. They don't have to go on your Instagram feed. You don't have to post them. But shooting something fun for yourself kind of gets exciting.
You know what else is exciting?
What?
Smoking you an Uno.
At the end of the day, as Dave said in one of our videos,
it is fun. At the end of the day, as my wife has said, it doesn't matter how bad the day's going, you're still a photographer. How bad can it possibly be?
Even though I didn't pick up my camera on the weekends and the evenings, and I still love Mondays, Mondays were great because I get to wake up and be a photographer.
Yeah, that's a good point. And it saddens me when a lot of people say they live for the weekend, like, oh, I can't wait till Friday or Saturday. It's easier said than done to find a career that you really love and to feel like it's not a chore to wake up on Monday. And I'm forever grateful that I have found a career that is like that for me, and I would say that you're probably thinking the same way too.
Definitely.
Just because you have a hobby, and if you make that your career, it doesn't mean that you're not going to dread going to work on Monday. I think that's more of a mindset. You need to kind of come to terms with that yourself personally.
Definitely. It is jarring to be absolutely infatuated with something like photography, change it into your career, and then you work so hard to finish your jobs or work with clients or whatever that you get burnt out and you don't want to do it anymore. And then it's like, well, what do I do now? Because I turned my hobby into a career.
And now you don't have that outlet.
Now I don't have that outlet, so what do I do,
Take up knitting.
Well, that's why I took up dance.
And then you started making dance videos.
Yeah, I did.
In fact, most of your commercial videos were dance videos.
Isn't that bizarre?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Anyway, kind of a weird vlog. We Didn't really have much to share this week. I'm on call. I've already been in the hospital once today.
Yeah, we were working on a bedroom makeover, but things didn't really work out so far with that, so maybe next week.
There we go.
But I think, I see this come up a lot and people are like, oh, like I want to be a filmmaker or a photographer and I'm working on that so I can make that my job. And that's great, but I think it definitely needs to be talked about from, people from both sides. From somebody who could have been a filmmaker for a living who decided not to because you didn't want to turn your passion into a career, versus me who had a passion for photography and then turned it into their career.
Yeah, we've kind of seen it from both sides, from both
Totally.
angles. I think we sort of agree on the overall conclusion.
Yeah, totally.
Which is, if you're thinking about making your passion or your hobby a career, just make sure that it doesn't ruin it for you. And that's, I think, all we have to say.
That's it. Okay.
If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell so you get notified when we post new videos.
Goodbye. Photography stands.
What's going on with your life?